And we'll go to our final motion. A Better Piazza changes to the big screen. Would the proposer of the motion like to make a speech?
Yeah, hi everybody. There's not a lot to say. I think since I came to Warwick, I had multiple conversations, hundreds of conversations about how much everybody hates the big screen, and not a single conversation with a person who was in strong support of the screen. That being said, I think it does have its uses. Societies do need it to advertise. The SU put stuff on there. There's some important information about university programs there. But what most certainly has been annoying everybody is how loud and intrusive the screen is, especially in the summertime when you just want to hang out with friends in a piazza. And also just how many videos, promotional videos of Warwick University are played on this screen. And every single time I see a video about first-year halls, I just ask myself why it is relevant to a second-year student living in Earlston that halls on campus are amazing. If they're there on open days, great. For any time that isn't that time, the screen is, I think, distracting, too loud, and just overall intrusive and useless in the current way. The motion gives the SU a variety of options to kind of improve the piazza, to make it a more welcoming and ultimately a better gathering space. There's stuff in there about lowering the volume, turning the screen off earlier than the current 10 p.m., which is fairly late, especially because some students have said that they can hear it in accommodation, which is close to the piazza. There's also the options of subtitles there, which I don't know whether it will work, and somebody would have to discuss that with the university. But if that is a feasible way to go, just so that the noise of the screen is reduced, I think that would be a great option. And basically, I think the SU should look into that and kind of just address the issues and the, well, massive discontent that everybody that I've met so far has with that thing out there.
Thank you. Is there anyone speaking against the motion? Is there any comments or questions? Okay, we will go to Liam first.
I like the big screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Would the proposer also not show great staple things such as Eurovision, FIFA World Cup? At full volume. Fantastic, that's all I need to know, thank you.
Yes, I think the screen should be used for football, for Eurovision at full volume, if Liam requests that. And I think the motion also has that somewhere in it, that these things should be supported and are great, unless it rains like this year.
Thank you. We'll now go to Luke.
Hi, I quite like the fact that this motion gives a wide variety of things for the SU's arsenal. It's a very rousing speech by our ethics and environment officer there. Thank you very much. I think the most important one on that is to sort of change the content that's on it, because I think most people will agree that they quite like the big screen. They just wish it was more relevant to them, showed some cool programs, and the bake-off. Yes, thank you.
Would the proposer like to reply? Okay. We'll go to George next.
I'd just like to say thank you for proposing this. Like, I used to live in Redfern last year, and I know it's been torn down, but I could hear the big screen, and it was irritating, and I just want it to be turned off and be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you. And to Leo at the back.
Firstly, I would like the proposer to clarify their position on what they would like to do with the big screen audio. In their motion, they say that the noise level should be turned off, and then they contradict themselves, saying that they should be leveled. I just want them to clarify their position, please.
Yeah, sorry, I agree that this is not the best motion I've written. It is also not the motion I spent the most time on writing. Sorry, exams got the best of me. I think it's whatever the university or whoever is responsible for that screen finds feasible to do. I think I would prefer for audio to be turned off unless you absolutely need it, like on open days or when you are showing some kind of show. But that would obviously require subtitles, which again might not be accessible, which just might not work on the space that the screen has. And if it doesn't work, then I'm fine with kind of leveling audio, turning it down, and really whatever the university agrees with.
Thank you. We'll now go to James.
Well, I really quite like this motion. I think it's bloody annoying. It's just that music you hear everywhere. I forget now. Anyway. I do have a couple questions though. Like, it talks about turning off the audio or turning off the screen during lunchtimes. I mean, surely the university is not going to do that. They didn't spend all that money on the big screen to then not advertise on it. I would like to think they would put it up for Eurovision, but I doubt they did.
Thank you. Would the proposer like to reply to that?
Well, I hope the university will consider how annoying the screen is. And again, I'm not sure how relevant university advertising is for students already at the University of Warwick. If societies use that, you know, I can absolutely see why they wouldn't agree with the screen being turned off at lunchtime. But again, I don't really think anybody in the university has anything to lose if some old professor doesn't tell me how great the league table rankings of Warwick are at the moment.
Thank you, and we'll go to Alex in the front.
I think I'm really, part of the bit I really like about this is turning it off earlier, because it's one of the things, like, if the Piazza is obviously quite a popular place to have a protest, and there is something really just horrible when, for example, we were having the Reclaim the Night protest about sexual violence, when people are doing these wonderful speeches and then there's some like screen just jangling away in the background, like, is just so disrespectful a lot of the time.
Thank you, and we'll go to Leo at the back.
I would just like to comment on the part where the proposer said that scrapping clips on the accommodation. I would like to point out that second and third years and returning students do live on campus. So I think it's a bit naive of him to assume that all second years living in Elston don't want to look at campus accommodation. I'd just like to raise that point. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll go to Ellen next.
I think this is a good motion. Can I put forward procedural motion number 7, please? And
We
vote
can. We will
immediately?
go to a summing up speech, and then we will vote.
I would just thank everybody for the support across the multiple aisles and the multi-partisan support. I think it's always good when we come together for democracy. And thanks, George. I have also at several times been, I don't know, hugged by people for proposing this, which I think is why this is so horrible. The screen, I mean, not the motion or myself.
Thank you very much. We will take it to an indicative vote. All those in favour? All those against? And any abstentions? Thank you very much. Is there any other business anybody would like to mention? In that case then, ASM is complete. Voting opens tomorrow at 9 and closes on Friday at 12. I think that's correct. Voting's online. Tell all your friends. Thank you very much for coming, everybody.